All right. So from the front, very good form. Your right hand might be coming up a little high as you swing forward, but minimal bouncing or vertical oscillation. Legs are tracking very straight. A little bit of a kickback with the left foot. You see that? Usually that's not something to worry about unless you notice when you're doing intervals or when you're fatigued that your foot starts hitting your other leg. I know that was very fast, so break it down in slow motion. So you have a nice lean forward, which is good. Good knee lift could be a little better, where you're trying to really lift that knee high using hip flexion. And the kickoff looks good. You might be, so you're leaning slightly from the waist, and you want your whole body leaning forward. So that's something to think about. Arms are relaxed. That's good. And you're landing. A little hyperextended there, but you haven't landed yet. Foot starts to come down and then making the pressure here. So you're right up at the edge of overstriding. You're not overstriding, but be aware of that, where you're trying to make sure that your foot lands, under your body or under your knee, really. I'm looking at the other leg here. So good drills are going to be high knees, butt kicks, doing strides, thinking about the knee lift. Your foot's starting to make contact, and then the pressure's down. You see your ankle is pretty much directly under your knee. That's good. Just be aware of that, right? That tin soldier where you're doing the paw back, or the skips, the B skips or the A skips, where you're like kicking out and then bringing your foot back quickly. Those kind of drills are very helpful. All in all, though, if I had to focus on one thing, I would say trying to lift or drive with the knee a bit more, and doing strides will help your stride length. Your kickback there is pretty good. There's not much to worry about there. And then a little bit of the lean. Make sure that your whole body, torso and hips, legs, are like leaned forward slightly. You don't want to be hunched over, right? And then close up of the feet, just to see what sort of landing you do. So you're going to be pretty much a mid-foot landing, which is good. See how right there in the previous frame your foot was touching down a little ahead of your calf. You weren't putting much pressure on it at that point, but that's what I'm focusing on is your foot directly under your knee, or are you slightly ahead? You might be slightly ahead, at least in that landing. But it's a minimal time. But the thing is, all the time adds up when you're taking thousands of steps. So drive with the knee, what I'm boiling it down to. Good landing, as far as the foot landing is mid-foot. All right, and then slow-mo on this. So you see your right hand coming up a little high. Not necessarily bad. Everybody's going to be different. Maybe play around with swinging it a little more forward as opposed to up and across. And then just looking at the way the legs track. Do your knees go out? Do they wobble in? Any issues like that? And you don't appear to have any, other than that left foot on the kickoff. Right, goes in. See, it's starting to go in behind your other leg. If you've run a marathon and towards the end, if that left foot starts hitting your calf, That's something to be aware of, because then that's putting more stress on your hip and stuff. So doing leg strengthening exercises like squats, side leg raises, abductor, adductor exercises are helpful to maintain this very even, forward and backward motion with the legs. Minimal oscillation, that's good, or bounce up. And I don't see any swaying in the torso, also good. So there you go. Hope that helps.